All right, so this is gonna be a first time ever because well, me and Pam when we do stuff like this, we never really tell each other's stories, so we wouldn't be surprised by it. But this time we somehow chose the same story, like the exact same story. I don't know how this happened. I'm not gonna go research another one. I'm sure he doesn't want to go research another one. So we're just gonna roll with it as it is. So unfortunately, we did choose the same story today, but we'll just collab on it. It really don't matter. I mean, it's still a very interesting
Limited
story.
edition Further Beyond, never seen before, and hopefully won't happen
Yeah,
again.
from here on out, I'll just be like, yo, just tell me three characters inside your story.
Yeah.
Like, because he asked me that same thing. I was like, yeah, Timothy. And he was like, Timothy who? And if you got to say Timothy who, it's already over. Like, there's only so many Timothys on Halloween.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and tell this story. Like I said, this is a Halloween story. So, Halloween I think is in next week, and we definitely needed like a Halloween further beyond 1,000%. So, without
Mm-hmm.
further ado, do you wanna start the story, or you want me to take over?
I can start, give us some basics, all right? Like some names, some to the general gist of the story. Because this story goes, I wouldn't say deep, but there are many layers and details to it from many sides. So it isn't even that bad that we tell the story together. 'Cause there's enough really to talk about for two people. But let's see. This is around like 50 years ago that this happened. It's a crime, okay? So I don't know. People from the US, especially Texas, might know this. This crime is known um, by the, term that is usually used to refer to it, Candyman, okay, or Candyman murder.
Yes.
Uh, from what I've read, obviously from Germany, right? Like no idea this happened. Germany has its own probably some Halloween stories here and there, but since I'm not too big on Halloween, I've never heard of this. I looked it up. Have you ever heard of this before you looked into this?
No, no, this is my first time ever hearing about it. I've heard of the movie Candyman, but I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that stemmed from anything.
Oh, there's a movie. That's interesting. But yeah, Candyman murder to this day, and especially back then, this whole case really made parents scared for their children, especially like on Halloween. That many parents didn't let their kids out, and there are some parents who still are not necessarily PTSD type of shock, but it still is in your mind. You think about it, and you don't want your kids going around taking random candy. But let me get into this so you know what I mean for those who, probably don't know about this. This story, as I said, happened around 50 years ago. I believe like sometime in the 1970s, right? Like 74, 5, somewhere in the middle, right? October 31st, Halloween, as we wanted to say, right? And then our main character, I don't even like using the term main character here. Bro's a whole ass villain, a dumb villain, but but in this story, I guess, I mean, because it's about him, let's just call him the main character, okay? He is called O'Brien, right? Lives in Texas with his son, Timothy, his daughter. Um, yeah, and he's just chilling. Was he married? I believe he was married, right? And he lives there. And sometime on Halloween, his two kids go trick or treating, right, around the neighborhood. And a couple kids come to him, the door doesn't open, the kids go away. After a while, Timothy, I was about to say, O'Brien runs after the kids, is like, oh, my bad, I got these candies for you, sorry I couldn't open the door. And he gives them 5 21-inch pixie sticks. Can you explain what pixie sticks even are? Like, because I have never
So
heard of this candy.
Pixie sticks, for people that don't know, is like they come inside these small little tubes. You may have had them when you were a kid. I don't know if they're like outside of America, but I know it's pretty popular here. They're just little tubes with like powder inside of them, basically like flavored powder is the best way I can try to explain it.
Ah, okay. No, I'm like looking at images. It looks familiar, but not in this, specific stick format, probably. But like little packets, yeah. But yeah, okay. He gives the group of kids, who was looking for candy, trick or treating, these pixie sticks, a couple of them, and yeah, this is where the whole trick or treating part of the story really ends, right? And then he also gives his own son Timothy the same pixie sticks. And then at night or in the evening, whatever, his son is like, "Can I eat some of this candy that I got?" O'Brien is like, "Sure, yeah." And he specifically makes him eat the pixie sticks. So he gives them to him, in a way that the like Timothy, still very young, just takes it, eats it, right? And it's this powdered candy, as you said, going through the straw. O'Brien even helped him, right? Like making the powder more edible, all that stuff. Really, just helping his son get it down, chow it down. And his son, after a while, started complaining that his stomach started hurting, and he ran to the bathroom where he began vomiting. And the most disturbing thing is O'Brien, like his dad, was sitting next to him, helping him. Oh my God, okay, what is happening? I'm gonna help you, right? And Timothy's arms went limp after a while. Losing consciousness, whatever. The something was apparently in the candy, something he consumed, and he was rushed to the hospital. There are some photos apparently. I don't know if they are safe for work. Actually, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah. But I mean, it would still be unnecessary. Like there are like images of how he looks like, or just a kid in general. We don't need that, right? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
You can look it up if you want. It's nothing crazy, I believe. I don't know if there's because it's poison, right? It's internal. There's nothing like in our past stories. Yeah, and Timothy died. This is like this could have been where this story ends, right? His son dying, and there are even apparently images of him at the funeral, close to his wife and stuff, crying, acting all sad and shit. But yeah, Timothy's death, I mean, raised a big fear in the community because candy, poisoned candy, someone gave kids candy that kills. So parents, as I said before, began being scared. But I mean, I'm gonna let you continue on because I believe like my part was already pretty big.
So I don't know if he saw it in his research, but there are actually a few kids that got poisoned. There was like several, probably around 10. They each kind of had the same symptoms. I think they got to theirs a lot sooner. I think Timothy is the only one that died, unfortunately, because his dad didn't act fast enough.
Rest in peace.
I think they said one of the kids was about to eat it, but like he had fallen asleep before he ate it, so he was just kind of like holding it inside of his sleep. So a lot of stories with this. So of course this terrorized the community. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know who was passing this stuff out because it could be anybody. Like that's even like a wise tale to this day. Like please let your parents check your candy because anybody could have poisoned it. They could put anything inside of it. I've heard of like apparently they used to put razor blades inside apples and shit. I don't even know who's passing out apples. I don't know who's doing that.
I mean, okay, if you pass out apples on Halloween, you might just hate kids.
Yeah, I'm not eating that at all. Like I'm not. I'm giving it back to you. Absolutely.
Nah, but razor blades is crazy.
Yeah,
that's actually crazy.
That's insane. But yeah, it's still a wise tale to this day. Like have your parents check your candy and stuff like that. But yeah. So Timothy did pass away, and the police immediately went to investigation to see what exactly happened. They were asking co-workers, they were asking family members, they were asking everybody around town, like where could this candy have come from, basically. Well, when they got to Timothy's father's co-workers, they were asking them, like, has the father been acting suspicious? Has anything happened, basically? And the co-workers were like, yeah, I mean, he's always had a ton of debt to his name, and one day he came into work last week and was like, yeah, I'm about to make sure all this debt goes away, like it's finally about to happen. They didn't know what that meant at the time, but apparently the dad was just like kind of gloating about it, excited, jumping around the place like my debt is finally gone, and nobody knew what he was talking about. Well, with further investigation, they found out that he had basically like pre-ordered the money that was coming out of the life insurance of Timothy O'Brien's name, kind of like he made sure like he contacted the agency like, yo, how much will I get out of, if he passes away? Like he was just doing too much investigating for like Why would you be looking that up a week before your son passed away, basically?
Bro was a dumbass. I'm telling you.
Yeah, like there is no reason for you to be looking that stuff up and then all of a sudden your son passes away. So they ended up, coming to him and questioning him and stuff like that. And it turned out that he was actually like $100,000 in debt from like car insurance and house payments and just a whole bunch of stuff that's accumulated into one. And he figured, well, there's not going to be any other ways I can pay this off unless I get the car insurance from my own son. So he is the one that gave his son the cyanide pixie sticks. He told him like, yo, you can't have any other candy because I'm going to check it, but you can't have the candy that I give it to you because obviously you can trust me. I'm your father. He ended up eating it and died immediately not because he couldn't get to the hospital too fast, but because he didn't take him to the hospital. Like he saw him there throwing up, going limp, and he waited until he was like basically on death's door. And was like, okay, now I'll take you to the hospital. Now that I know that you're gonna die, basically.
Some people just should not be parents.
Absolutely not.
Because that is an insane thing to do, especially to your own kid. What the fuck?
That's insane. The reason that the other kids ended up getting poisoned is because he wanted to make it seem like, oh, who's doing this? Who's the one passing these out? So I'm going to make sure to give it to several people so that they also get poisoned and then it never comes back to me, basically. Because if it just looks like, if my kid just dies and I'm the only one with pixie sticks in my house, then of course I'm the one that did it. But if 10 kids die, then we have no idea where these came from and I can just throw these out and it'll never come back to me, basically. But his was the only one that died, so it looked a lot more suspicious on his terms of why he couldn't get to the hospital, but 10 other families could, basically. But the only reason he was going to do this is because he wanted to pay off that $100,000 debt. And the sad thing about it is since Timothy was a child at 8 years old, he would have only got like $20,000 back. Like that wouldn't even put a dent in the $100,000 that he would have gotten from the life insurance, unfortunately.
But is the money calculated for like our time or the time back then? Because I remember like this 100K that he was in debt, right? Or is it? This
Yes,
was his debt,
100,000.
right? Like the 100K.
Yes.
I believe if we calculate the money, how much it would be worth today, I remember reading it's like a little bit over $500,000. So bro was in big debt.
Yeah, so if you calculate that 20,000, that would have been to about 50,000. Like he was done for
how
regardless.
are you just $500,000 in debt? That's crazy.
From car insurance. Like, did you never ever pay in your life? Like, what the fuck? Did you never pay a bill ever? How are you that much in debt? I have no idea, but I don't know. I understands why he was so happy, like skipping around at work, because he really thought he was gonna get rid of that shit.
Jesus Christ.
His coworkers was like, I don't know what he was so happy about, but he was ecstatic. Like, he was happy as hell. But yeah, that shit. Unfortunately, we lost a life because of it. And as Pan said, like that has kind of like stuck with that community. I think it's like Fort something, Texas. And people have just always thought like Halloween is basically canceled there because they're so scared of anything else happening, basically.
But yeah, let me just because this story is basically coming to an end here. There are some more details, like the police was able to track him down after a while. He of course cashed out, thought it was all cool, but he was the thinker. No, you weren't. Okay, he is pretty dumb, not just with finances, because as I said, what the fuck are you doing, right? $500,000 debt, that's crazy. Okay, you would not catch me. Okay, I probably should not say this, otherwise, like in a couple years, I might just be in debt like that. Who knows? But the police caught him after tracking down what he was doing insurance wise, because you gotta be dumb, like. As you said, before the death happened, he was looking into this, which is already mad suspicious. But then they also learned that he visited a chemical supply store in Houston to buy this cyanide shortly before Halloween. Like bro, this was like he was improvising or some shit, right? Like he didn't even this wasn't even that well planned out. Like a couple of days before, he was like, "Okay, guys, I'm buying the cyanide now. You should have, if you wanted to do this, you should have bought this shit a year ago at least, or at a random time, and then wait for Halloween." I don't know, but yeah, the police found out. Pretty obvious whole thing, really. I'm surprised the police didn't catch him sooner because it took some time, I believe. I forgot how long, but yeah. Sadly, Timothy died, of course. As I said, this was his crime, I guess, poisoning his own child and then, almost killing the other kids. But then he was arrested for the murder of Timothy on November 5th, 1974. So he didn't even it didn't even last a week, right? Like five days, which
Yeah.
like thinking about it, bro, you are not the thinker. What the fuck? 5 days?
Nah, he got caught almost immediately.
Yeah. He was indicted like to 1 count of capital murder and 4 counts of attempted murder, as I said, right? The trial started in the upcoming year in May, and yeah, he was found guilty, obviously, right? And yeah, this was all as a way to really get out of debt. But as we've seen with the numbers, he it didn't even cover everything, right? It just covered a fraction of it. Killing this is crazy, right? You're $500,000 in debt, but killing your son and getting their insurance money is still not even close to being enough to cover.
Yeah, like imagine you're trying to buy a 2024 Lamborghini, but you sell your keyboard to try to like purchase that car. Like, dog, you're not gonna get $20 off that shit, bro. Like that's a lot of money that you're trying to cover this space in, and you thought $20,000 in a life was gonna pay that off, dog. Like you're an idiot.
But look, the funniest thing is like the whole like when he was in court, right? He pleaded innocence. For some reason, I would just assume the lawyer told him, bro, they got you. All the evidence is here. Please plead guilty, right? It would maybe lower your sentence. No, he's saying he's innocent. And what happens? His defense started talking or trying to justify his innocence by drawing upon some decade-old urban legend of a mad poisoner who was going around on Halloween lacing candy with poison or needles.
Yeah, you're done.
Or as you said, the apple razor blades.
Yeah, like,
bro,
we're
guys,
not believing you.
Have you never heard of this mad poisoner? It couldn't have been O'Brien. There is this, bro. Fuck
the
this,
mad
right?
poisoner. I guess Gotham or some shit.
This story is bonkers. And on June 3rd, 1975, the jury had only took, and this is specifically stated, 46 minutes to find O'Brien guilty on all accounts. And it took them another 71 minutes to condemn him to death, right?
Yeah,
because
got in and out.
It was still legal.
You could be a part of the jury and still make it to work by that time. Like that's only an hour and a half.
Just light work, bro. See you later.
Hey.
Yeah, his wife quickly divorced him, and and he was waiting on death row. He was described, this is actually crazy. People were laughing at him. He was described as friendless, okay, shunned by fellow inmates, and all his appeals failed. So everybody hated him. He was all alone. And then at the age of 39, he was executed by lethal injection in Texas on March 31st, 1984. So bro was still there for almost 10 years. Like 9 years later, he was executed. I sometimes don't understand why it takes so long to do this. I assume there are some laws to it. Or maybe back then,
probably
I'm
just
not
letting them suffer for a little bit. Like imagine being in jail for 10 years knowing that you're going to die after that 10.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised that he, didn't do it himself sooner
Oh,
if he
absolutely.
knew that this would happen. But I mean, sometimes you're just there, you still have this slither of hope, right, that you might survive. So you just, do what you're told, just stay there.
Yeah, everybody
Then,
has main character
yeah,
syndrome, so they think they're gonna somehow beat the law and escape and have a happily ever. No, you're gonna sit in that chair. You're gonna fry.
yeah. Rarely anybody really, qualifies to be an actual main character. O'Brien, sorry to say this, but
Is
you're
not at
not him.
all.
And then his last meal consisted of, and bro was actually fat. I could not be eating so much. His last meal consisted of a T-bone steak, medium to well done, French fries with ketchup, a whole kernel corn, sweet peas, lettuce, and a tomato salad with egg and French dressing, iced tea,
What the
sweetener,
fuck?
saltines, Boston cream pie, and some rolls.
Well, I mean, your last meal, like you can choose it basically.
Yeah, and
So
he was going
he was
all
just like,
out.
"Yo, I'm just going. I'm about to
Some people are
feast."
like, "Don't give me anything, or just give me a Big Mac." Like, bro, if your last meal is a Big Mac, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Pick anything, okay? Big Mac. I don't know. You want to keep it simple, I guess.
Just a little
And
word of advice for anybody listening. If you're gonna commit a crime, one, don't buy the murder weapon a week out because they can just
yeah,
literally go
probably.
to whatever store and be like, "Yo, did anybody buy cyanide?" Because nobody's buying cyanide ever. And they'll be like, "Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, somebody just bought it like 3 days ago." Okay, bet, say less. And then the only person that did it could have been you. And two, why would you commit a crime in Texas? Texas is notorious for like killing you no matter what the fuck the crime is. Like people have gotten the death sentence for way smaller before in Texas. So just don't be an idiot, y'all. Please don't be an
Hmm.
idiot.
And then the most disrespectful thing, I suppose, during his execution, a crowd of 300 demonstrators outside the prison were cheering. Many of them hated O'Brien for, making Halloween far less enjoyable, and some yelled trick or treat. So you're going off. You're going out without your wife, without your kids, no friends. Even the people in prison are walking around spitting on you for being such a horrible human. And then you know that outside, I don't even know if he actually knew, but outside people were still making fun of him. And I mean, I believe if you know this story, like personally, you're obviously very old now, but I don't know, bro. This story needs to be told some more. Just show us the stupidity of some people.
Yeah, because I've
But
never heard of more stupid in my life, honestly.
but generally, there are some like people reported like how he was in prison and stuff. It's not really that important. Just something like he was well spoken compared to other inmates. Appeared to be more educated and literate. I don't know,
Yeah,
bro. The
this
way he
case tells
acted,
different.
the way he acted, he might have just been a dumbass. Like I don't fucking know. And yeah, this is basically it. Bro was buried in Forest Park East Cemetery in Webster, Texas. If you want to visit him, he probably isn't there anymore, right? Don't they after some years have to take him out because of space and shit? Does that not work like that?
No, no, I
Or
think you kind of stay there forever.
okay, because or is I don't know how because more people die and die. Isn't the space at some point in like in cemeteries and shit running out? Don't you have like to take out
Well, they
someone?
usually just build some more, or they just add on to it, kind of. But like, I've been to cemeteries where like it's showing people from like the 40s that died. So
Oh, okay. Then you might still be able to visit him, and his son was luckily buried somewhere else, right?
yeah, yeah, if you want to just go
Also,
to the dad's cemetery and just put some pixie sticks on there, or throw
I
cyanide
I
in the
I, I
cemetery,
assure you, some people did.
just
Yeah,
go
but
vandalize his shit.
but yeah, this is basically the story. Bro was dumb. I'm even reading here like, so he poisoned his own children not to pay off his debt but to take vacations. Okay, that is even more. So he took the life insurance money and didn't even pay off the debt. He just was chilling for these 5 days before the police arrested
Oh
him.
my
Okay,
god.
it gets even dumber by the second.
That's insane.
Bro, I mean, okay, he took off the life insurance, realized it is absolutely not enough to cover it all. At least let me chill. How do you, bro was a whole ass psychopath to the max, bro. How do you kill your kid and then go to the beach or something? I don't know. People, I don't know. Some people are wilding out. But yeah, I mean, this is our Halloween story. As we told you before, we looked through many of them. We both Apollo and I, and somehow we got to the same story. Cause I mean, this is a pretty interesting story, right?
Yeah, it's a good story for sure.
Yeah, and I assume that people from Houston or from the area where this happened still remember this story because it's a local one, and are more careful on Halloween. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like after listening to these stories, and this isn't even like a singular event, right? Because doing something to candy, I would say is something that doesn't happen necessarily regularly, but often enough for parents to be kind of scared. So if I were a parent, I might look over the candy before I give it to children. To my children, I mean, like look at their candy, because you never know. You never know, even in Germany.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but yeah, just check your candy. Stay out
Moral
of
of the story.
that city in Texas. It's not they're not gonna ever celebrate Halloween again. Honestly, like it's just, especially nowadays where you have people just trying to do copycat stuff for clout and everything. So yeah, it's kind of dumb
New
for 'em,
TikTok
man.
challenge: eating pixie sticks with cyanide.
Yeah, they'll probably make a challenge out there. Show how many people they can poison. Like,
Oh, hell no.
yeah, that's the story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Next time we'll make sure we don't accidentally pick the same storyline. I don't know how that's possible. I mean, there's literally endless Halloween things, and we somehow chose.
Always the first time for everything.
Exactly. This has been Further Beyond, and we will see you guys next episode.
Peace.
Peace.